everyone, and welcome back to Fully Playable Games. So before we get into today's video, just wanted to wish you all a happy new year and welcome to 2024. Hopefully you all had an amazing Christmas and New Year, and yeah, ready to get back into the game hunting for this year. Also as well, before we get started, I do want to put out a bit of an apology actually. The lack of videos over the last week or so. So obviously I put out a video on Christmas Day, but I haven't actually been able to put out anything since, and that is because I have been really ill. The man flu has really kicked in high gear. Even now my voice isn't great, but I was so desperate to get this video out that I've sort of forced myself to get it filmed. And today's video is one that I absolutely love doing every year. And that is my aims for the year. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at my aims for 2024. We're also going to be having a look back and seeing what of the aims for 2023 that I actually achieved. And yeah, what we'll do is we're going to start with them first. So let's jump over to the computer now, and we'll pull up last year's video and see what we managed to get. So here we are. I've got last year's aims video all set up, ready to go. And what we'll do is we'll go through it and just sort of talk through some of the bits that I mentioned in that video. What I've done is I've queued it up at the point where I'm actually going through the aims for 2023. So we skip out all the other bits. But let's get on to my aims for this year. So with regards to consoles, I will say I have looked through this, and I'm probably going to speed through this. I mean, I'll probably up the speed on this because I do rattle on for quite a while. So if we go 1.5. Being over the last year, I will say we have been absolutely smashing it with consoles, and with the collection now, obviously we have got every variant of the original PlayStation. That's retail variant, I should say. I haven't got any of the like the Japanese versions or the dev kits or anything like that. Just the. So with regards to that, what I did manage to get last year, I did get a different model. So I have actually got 4 versions of the original grey PlayStation now, plus the PS1 Slim. So yeah, there's we added another one to the collection last year. Retail version. So we've got the 3 different grey versions. We've got the PS1, and then we've also got the PlayStation Classic as well. We've got a good selection actually with regards to Xbox, but I think with the PlayStation we've obviously got every variation. So we've got PS1, PS2, multiple versions of PS2, PS3. We've got multiple versions, but my backwards compatible doesn't work. We've got PS4, and I've got access to the PS4 Slim as well. We've got PS5. What we got? We've got a couple of PSPs, of Vita. So yeah, really chuffed with how my PlayStation console collection is. Obviously, with regards to that, one of the aims that I am going to set out for this year is one that we missed last year. So it is to try and get hold of a PS3 Slim. I've seen a couple of them this year, but every time I see them, they're more than I want to pay at the time. So yeah, I will keep an eye out. Still try and get a PS3 Slim. I also want to try and make sure. So we did actually manage to get a PS3 Slim. I think we actually managed to get 2 over the course of the year, which was really good. I think the first one come from the normal Sunday Boot Fair. And I think we might have got one from Lazy Bones, I want to say. Yeah, I can't remember. I know, I'm pretty sure we got 2. So yeah, really glad to finally tick that one off. I think the only one that we've got left now with regards to that is the Super Slim. So that's the one that's got the cover that goes across the top of the console, and it's sort of a manual opening. But yeah, that I can get a working backwards compatible PS3. I think they're going. Last time I checked, they were going for about £100 console only on eBay. So yeah, I'll have to have a look for that. So once again, we did manage to get a working backwards compatible PS3. I will say it is not one that I use regularly, purely because I am actually too scared to use it. So I have gone through, I've replaced all the thermal paste, everything like that in it, given it a really good clean, and actually it now sits
in the box on top of my bookcase. So when we go back to the other screen, if you look above me, you'll see there'll be two PS3 boxes. One's the satin silver, that's the Japan only model, and then next to that there's a 60 gig PS3 box that has actually got my working backwards compatible PS3 in. So yeah, what I am hoping to do is I'm hoping to come across a couple more backwards compatible PS3s. I'm not really fussed on condition because I've actually got some new bits that will actually allow me to do a bit more testing with regards to the backwards compatibles. So yeah, fingers crossed I'll be able to get one of them soon enough, and then we can do another repair video.
What else we've got? I think with PlayStation, that is about it. Obviously, with Xboxes, I've got a really wide variety. Obviously, one of the ones that I do want to try and get hold of is in the original Xbox 360. I want to try and get hold of an original arcade. So you can tell the arcades.
So unfortunately, we didn't manage to get hold of a working arcade. I know I managed to pick one up at the Sunday Boot Fair. I paid like £5 for it, but when I got it home, it did have the red light of death on it, unfortunately. So, yeah, I am still on the lookout for one of them, and yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get one of them soon, because I do really want to get the base Xbox 360 collection finished off.
Because they're the ones that didn't come with a hard drive and they didn't have a HDMI port. I mean, that is the only mainline variant of the 360 that I don't have. I've got all the others, both slim and fat version, I think they were called, and then we've obviously got a couple of special editions as well. We've obviously got the Xbox One. I haven't got the Xbox, I haven't got the One S or anything like that. I've just got the Xbox One and then obviously the Series X.
So that was a bit of a surprise for last year. Obviously, we did manage to add an Xbox One S. Obviously, we did buy it 40. And actually, I don't think I've managed to do the repair on it yet. I think I'm actually holding off because we've got an upcoming video which will tie into it. I think that's one of the videos coming out in January. So yeah, we did get one of them, which we just need to do a very simple repair on. And then obviously right towards the end of last year, we managed to add the Series S to the collection, which back then I wasn't even considering it. So yeah, really good additions. I think there are a couple of Xboxes that we're still missing. So we're missing the Xbox One X, which was basically their version of the PS4 Pro. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that might be it. Unless actually we went down the route of, what is it, the Xbox One S 1 terabyte. Because I think the one that we've got was originally a 500 gig model. But yeah, so there's a couple of different variants that we can get for the Xbox One and the Series consoles. But I think at the moment I'm sort of quite content. If I come across them, then brilliant. But other than that, I'm not actively seeking them out.
So yeah, really chuffed there. And then with my Sega and Nintendo, that's where I think the majority of stuff is going to come from for next year, or for this year, sorry. So I'm actually filming this the week before you see it, so technically I'm still in 2022. So yeah, with my Sega and Nintendo collection, I obviously have been absolutely smashing it this year with regards to the consoles. So I've had a look at it, and I'm only actually missing one of each of the main home consoles. So for the Sega, I am missing the Master System. So we've currently got Pac-Man Mania as our only Master System game, but I am missing a Master System for the collection. So that is going to be one of the main pickups for this year.
So we got really lucky with the Master System. So I managed to pick a Master System with Sonic. There was Master System 2 with Sonic built in towards probably the middle of the year. And then not long after that, managed to get hold of a Master System 2 with Alex's Kid built in. Then we got the Master System 1, which was the main one that I was after. And then as well, we also got a box Master System as well. So we've ended up going from no Master Systems in the collection at all to 4. So yeah, not too bad there at all with the Master Systems. And actually, over the course of the year as well, we added a additional 6 games to the collection as well.
I'll make sure that I get a Master System. And then with that, I've then got the whole home console collection of Sega consoles. So obviously I've got Mega Drive, got Mega Drive 2, 32X, Mega CD, Saturn and Dreamcast. So it is just the Master System I'm missing. Obviously I know we've got the, what was it called? Was it 1000 something? I'll pop a picture up, I can't remember. But obviously that was a Japanese exclusive, so I'm not actively hunting that out at the moment. And then with Nintendo, obviously, once again, this year has been an absolute cracking year. We finally managed to get hold of the NES, so I've now got NES in the collection with a really good set of games, actually. We also did manage to get the Pikachu N64. Obviously, we didn't get it boxed, but I was more happy just to get it in the collection. And yeah, but the one console that we are missing is the Wii U. So I don't currently have a Wii U in the collection. Obviously, I do now have a Switch, which I got for Christmas, and I have been playing it non-stop. Absolutely loving it. My wife got me a Switch OLED for Christmas, just in case you didn't see the short that I put out. But yeah, so the one console I'm missing is the Wii U. We have got a couple of Wii U titles. I think they're on one of the shelves sort of down there. So yeah, that is going to be one that is going to be very high up my list. Obviously, I've seen them listed on places like Facebook Market, eBay, and everything like that. They go for around 100 to 150, dependent on the collection that's on offer. But yes, that is going to be one of the top. Well, those two are going to be the top for my list. Another.
So we did get a Wii U. We got the black premium Wii U. That's the one with a 32 gig of built-in storage. I have also picked up a variety of Wii U's in different states of completeness. I'm trying to sort of build complete systems as we go along. I think in total I've probably got about 2 or 3 complete Wii U systems now. The only one I haven't got is the white one. So I haven't got the white Wii U, which has got the 8 gig of internal storage. And that was the cheaper model out of the 2. So I would like to sort of try and pick one up this year, but once again, if one comes up, then I will look to grab it. But actually, so before I restart the video, with the Wii U as well, we have added 23 Wii U games to the collection this year, which has been absolutely brilliant. Some really, really good games, and as I say, one of the consoles that I do really enjoy playing.
One that I do want to try and get this year, and I'll probably put it in with the sort of the top pickups for the year, will be a Game Gear. So we've got a couple of Game Gear games already, and yeah, I just don't have one. Don't really mind whether it's one that needs recapping or not, or it's been recapped. But yeah, I just want to get one for the collection. It's one of the only handhelds that I haven't got now. Actually say that, no it's not, because I don't have.
So with the Game Gear, we did add a Game Gear to the collection this year, but it was actually needing a new screen, so I still don't currently have a fully functional Game Gear in the collection. So once again, that's another thing that I'm going to be keeping my eye out for this year. But actually, over the course of the year, we've added 13 extra Game Gear games. So yeah, it's one that I want to add, but yeah, it's just making sure I try and find the right one, because to be honest, most of them will need recapping, but then it's a case of going through the recapping to then find out it's got a faulty screen. That was actually soul destroying when that happened during the year.
Have a Game Boy Advance or a working original DS, so I have got a couple of Nintendo ones to get, but obviously the Game Gear was the only handheld released by I was about to say Sainsbury's, the only handheld released by Sega. Obviously I know you've got things like the Nomad and that, but they weren't really mainstream. I think with the Game Gear, it's one that I should have in the collection.
So I will correct myself on that one. Obviously the Nomad was a mainstream console, but it was predominantly released in the US. The Nomad wasn't released in PAL regions. For those of you that don't know, the Nomad is basically a portable Mega Drive. So you get your Mega Drive cart and you'd actually slot that into the top of the Nomad. Had a built-in screen, everything like that. If I ever manage to get out to the States, it's definitely one of the top consoles that I'm going to look for when I get out there. But yeah, it's... I think actually you can probably get them for about £300-400 over here. But it isn't one that's high up my list. It's not one I've ever had access to or ever seen in real life. So yeah, not massively high up my list. But yeah, it was a mainstream release, but it was more in the US. I'm not sure whether it was released in Japan or not, but I know it was definitely a US system.
So yeah, I do want to get that. Then I've got a sort of sub list of things that I would like to get if I get the opportunity. Top of that list is going to be a Virtual Boy. Yes, I have only ever seen it in real life once, and that is at Glenn's house. He does actually have one boxed. I haven't asked him how much it is yet. I probably will at some point this year, but yeah, it is something that I want to add to the collection. Equally though, I don't want the Japanese version. I want the US version.
So with regards to this, we did get the Virtual Boy this year. I did pick up the one from Glenn, and it is the Japanese version. So yeah, that is not how I intended it to go back then. But obviously with the Virtual Boy, they are region free, so it doesn't really matter whether I got the Japanese or the US version. Made no real difference. I was quite lucky with the Virtual Boy that I got off Glenn, because it did actually come with 2 complete in-box games as well. So we got Galactic Pinball and Mario Tennis. And I have to say, they are brilliant to play on the Virtual Boy. I really enjoyed playing them. And yeah, I think this year, definitely want to try and add a couple more. Obviously, the complete Virtual Boy collection is only 24 games. But some of those games are well out of my price range, so I don't think I'll ever actually have them in the collection, but would definitely love to get a full Virtual Boy collection, especially a full US Virtual Boy collection. But yeah, it is a console. I'm so glad to have it in the collection, and yeah, it actually sits on my shelf just up the top here, so whenever I'm working, it's always just in my eye line, which is great.
Because obviously, I know that there's fewer games on the US version, but at least then the ones that I do get, I can actually play. So yeah, I'm probably going to look for a US version of the Virtual Boy if I can get hold of it. Then I want to try and get hold of Game Boy Advance. As I said a minute ago, it's one that I don't have in the collection. Obviously, I've got a couple of Game Boy Advance SPs, but I don't have the sort of the purple elongated Game Boy. So yeah, I do want to try and pick up one of them this year. I'll be honest, I don't actually think I've seen one at all this year when I've been out and about.
So with the Game Boys, as I said there, even this year, I haven't seen any Game Boy Advances out and about. They just don't come up a lot. I don't know why, but I just don't see them. I actually see the original DMG fairly often. But I can't remember seeing a Game Boy Advance at all this year. As I say, the elongated one. I think I've seen quite a few SPs, but yeah, you don't see them. I don't know why. But yeah, I didn't manage to get one this year. Once again, it's not one that I'm sort of desperate to add to the collection. It will more be sort of as and when I come across it that I will sort of add it in.
Yeah, I don't think I have. So yeah, that would definitely be one to sort of look out for. Then I also want to try and get hold of a Game Boy Micro. I don't think it was this year. I think it was the year before, or last year, sorry. I think it was 2021. I just missed out on one by literally 30 seconds. I was gutted when I saw the guy pick it up out of the box. And I think he got it for like 15 quid as well. So yeah, really, really gutted. But it is one that I do want to add. I periodically look at them on eBay, but yeah, just can't afford it.
So once again, with the Game Boy Micro, that one that I saw at the boot fair was the only one that I've ever seen sort of while I've been out and about. I do still look them up on eBay. I think the price has come down a bit. I mean, when I filmed this video, they were about 100 to 120 pounds. Now I've seen them sort of go for about 80 pounds on the regular. So yeah, it is one. Once again, I will keep my eye out for it. If I manage to get a sort of a cheap auction on eBay or something like that, I will look to pick it up. But it's not one that I'm sort of desperate to get. I will just sort of come across it, and once I get the right one that sort of fits in with what I want, then I'll grab it.
But then, as I said, the other one I want to try and get is the PS3 backwards compatible. And yeah, we'll just sort of see what happens with that one. Then I've got a couple of accessories that I want to pick up as well. These are both on Nintendo consoles. So the first one I want to get is a power glove. I think they are absolutely brilliant. I've never used one, never even seen one in the flesh, but I would like to grab one. I am probably, once again, going to look for a US version. But say that, I may even, yeah, I think I want the US version. Because once again, I will end up getting when I get it, I'll also look to get an NTSC NES as well. Because I've obviously got my NES, but I don't want to modify that at all. I want that kept original. So yeah, I'll probably look to get a US version of that if it comes up. Once again, it's not really high up my list at the moment, but it is.
So with the power glove, obviously I didn't manage to get one this year. Once again, it's one that I look at periodically on eBay, but I don't seem to find that the US ones come up that often. I see the Japanese ones all the time. You can get the Japanese ones for probably about 150 quid complete in box. But yeah, the US ones, you don't really see them come up. And the reason why I want the US version over the Japanese version is because the Japanese one was actually released by a different company. I think it was Playdex or something like that. Whereas the US one is all Nintendo branded, and that's really what I wanted. But yeah, once again, I will sort of keep an eye out, and if one comes up that's how I want it, then I will look to grab it. If not, once again, I'm not massively concerned about picking it up.
Something I want, but the one thing with that is I do want it boxed. I definitely want to get that boxed if I can. And then the other one I want to get is a Super Scope. So I have got most of my Menacer. I've actually got it just here on the. So this is the Mega Drive version of the scope, but I have never had the Super Scope. I've played it. I had a friend when I was younger who had one, and we played it quite extensively. But yeah, I would like to get one for the collection. Ideally, if I can, I'd like to try and get one boxed, but I think they're quite expensive if you to get them boxed. But yeah, sort of those two accessories are.
So I was lucky enough to actually add a boxed Super Scope to the collection this year, and I got really lucky with it because I got it on an auction, and if I remember rightly, I got it for about £25. And actually, at the time when I picked that up, they were going for about 50 to 60 pounds boxed. I honestly can't remember how much they were going for when I filmed this video. But yeah, I'm quite surprised that I was saying that it was quite expensive boxed. Yeah, don't know with that one. But yeah, I think I got quite lucky. I managed to get it 25 or 30 pounds, something like that. But it was complete in box. And I was really, really chuffed to add it in. Unfortunately, haven't really got the shelf space at the moment to add it in, but it is something I will look to get out and displayed, get it on display a bit more going forward.
What I'm looking at for this year. Then, game-wise, I've only really got one main target that I want to do for this year. And obviously, with recently picking up the Switch, one of the targets that I've had for a while now with the Switch is to actually get all of the Pokemon games on the Switch. I've got a fairly good selection of Pokemon games at the moment. I'm actually missing 5 as it stands. I'm missing Pokemon Mystery Dungeons Rescue Team DX, Pokemon Tournament DX, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. I've got Let's Go Pikachu. I've played that quite a bit. Pokemon Sword. So I've got Shield. Haven't got Sword yet. And then the last one is new Pokemon Snap. So I'm missing 5 of the Pokemon games. That is one thing that I will make sure I do this year. I'll get the other. I'll get them. Add them into the collection so that that's a full set of Pokemon games. Obviously, I am.
So I haven't really progressed with this list. It is something that I'm still actively doing. Last year, I think the only game that we did manage to add was the new Pokemon Snap. But yeah, unfortunately, didn't manage to get any of the others because they are still going for near enough full price. And even when you go into CEX, CEX are normally selling them over and above sort of retail pricing. So yeah, once again, there'll be ones that I'll sort of keep an eye out for at the boot fairs, and if I come across it, then all well and good.
Also pushing for things like the full set Mario games, the full set of Zelda games, things like that. I want to try and just sort of put some sets together with the Switch. Obviously, there are way too many games to ever even dream of going for a full Switch set. But yeah, I do want to try and get...
So with regards to that, I actually think I am doing quite well on that, actually, because I did pick up Mario Odyssey last year. We've already had... you see there, just at the bottom of the screen, actually, Mario, I think New Mario Land or something like that with Bowser's Fury. We've got the Classics collection, the 3 games, so 64, Sunshine and Galaxy. We've picked up a couple of Mario games that come out this year, so we've got Wonder, and then we've got RPG. So I actually think we've got all of the Switch Mario games. I already had Mario Kart. The little one had it on their Switch. So yeah, I think we've got that. And then with the Zelda games, I know that we've got the main 2. So we've actually got 3 Zelda games. So we've got these Skyward Sword HD remake. We've got Breath of the Wild, and then we've got Tears of the Kingdom as well. So yeah, I'll have to have a look, see what else. I don't know whether there was other Zelda games released on the Switch yet. But yeah, I'll have a look. So yeah, that is... oh, excuse me. That is going to wrap up the collection run through. But before we switch back to the other camera, just wanted to go, obviously... One of the things that I started doing in this video was to announce that I was going to start collecting the GameCube. So I was going for a full power set of GameCube games. I think at the time of filming this video, I had 45 games in the collection. And currently, we've got 139 in the collection now. So, yeah, a massive, massive jump. We've actually got 3 full shelves within the bookcase now dedicated to GameCube, and we're actually just starting to double stack the GameCube games now as well. So out of that, we've still got 312 left to get. So yeah, we've still got a bit of way to go with that. But yeah, I think I was a bit optimistic last year in trying to get the full set in 1 year. But yeah, what we'll do now is we'll jump back to the other camera and then we'll go through my aims for this year.
So as well as hitting all of those targets, we also managed to get an absolute truckload of new consoles for the collection. Last year very much ended up being a console-centric year. So we actually added 29 new consoles to the collection. And I think at the moment, including sort of different variations as well, I think I'm hovering around between 90 and 100 consoles actually in the collection, which is absolutely brilliant. But as well as that, we also hit a couple of big milestones as well. So probably the biggest one for me last year was actually hitting 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. So yeah, once again, I know I've said it time and time again, but I just want to say a massive, massive thank you to everyone that helped me achieve that goal. It's been something that I've been aiming to get to for, I think in March it'll be 3 years. So yeah, really, really chuffed to finally hit it. And yeah, it just means that I'm doing something right. But the other big milestone that we also achieved was we actually hit 3,000 games in the collection as well. So I think at the moment, as of sort of today's video, we're at about 3,058 games in the collection, which is absolutely staggering considering I started with less than 200, and yeah, now we're at over 3,000, which is absolutely brilliant. But with that, let's now get into the aims for this year. So I've got a couple of things laid out that I want to achieve this year. The big one is going to be boxes. So on my little list here, I've got boxes, boxes, and more boxes. And yeah, my aim for this year is going to be hunting down console boxes. So I've got quite a few consoles here that I don't have boxes for. So for example, my NES, my SNES, I've got my GameCube. What else? I mean, there's a fair few. I can't remember them all off the top of my head. But yeah, big thing is I want to try and track down boxes for them. And what I'm looking to do is before the Games Room tour. So what I normally do is do the Games Room tour at the beginning of March to celebrate the channel's birthday. I'm going to be scaling down the Pokemon wall. So at the moment we've got 3 big shelves of Pokemon stuff. Going to be scaling that back to probably 2. And then at the top we're going to start putting some of the Sega console boxes. So obviously we got the Mega Drive box a couple of videos ago. So yeah, looking to sort of start getting them up, and then once I can start getting some of the Nintendo boxes as well, I will find space somewhere. So yeah, boxes is probably going to be the biggest thing that I'm looking to get for the collection this year. Also, the other thing that I want to try and get is a small CRT TV. So I'm only looking at sort of like what we would call a portable, so like 14 to 15 inches. Just something that I can start playing some of the light gun games. So obviously we've got the Nintendo Scope last year. We've also got a range of zappers as well for, I think, Master System. We've got the NES zapper, and then I've also still got my original Menacer as well. So yeah, the ability to be able to play them and even capture footage for them would be good. But obviously to do that I need to get a CRT. The reason I'm looking to get a smaller portable one is that I can set it up when I want to play it and then put it away when I'm not, because unfortunately in the games room as it is, I don't have the room for a permanent TV setup, hence why we don't even have the TV around the consoles anymore. But there are a couple of consoles that I've got my eye on for this year. And what I will say is the aim is the ones that I can get this year, I am going to try and look to get them boxed. So, as I say, this year is very much about getting boxes for consoles. So, yeah, the consoles that I'm looking to get, probably, I think with these first 2, I'm going to have to pick one. I think I know which one I'm going to pick. So, the first one I'm going to be looking at is a Sega Multi-Mega. So for those of you that don't know, the Sega Multi-Mega was the 3rd iteration of the Mega CD. But it is actually a Mega Drive and Mega CD in one unit, and it's really compact. I know a lot of, there were some people that actually used to use it as a portable CD player. So yeah, that's something I've got my eye on for this year. Because obviously we've got the Mega Drive, the Mega CD 1, Mega CD 2, and yeah, the Multi-Mega would just tick that off. But what I will say, I think the console that is going to be sort of top of the list for this year is one that I have wanted to get since before I even started the channel, and that is a Panasonic Q. So this was a Nintendo GameCube that was released by Panasonic in Japan. It's actually got DVD playback function, and it also has a built-in GameCube as well. They are really, really hard to get hold of working. If you manage to get hold of one working, they are expensive. But my aim for this year, that is probably the #1 console that I want to try and get this year. I think for a complete in-box, you're looking close to about the £1,000 mark. So yeah, I'm going to get saving, let's say. And some of the other consoles that I want to get the Star Wars, not N64, the Star Wars Xbox 360. I'll say, for those of you who don't know, I'm a big Star Wars fan. I've got a big Star Wars collection. But I have wanted to get this for a while, and I've had some sitting in my eBay list for absolutely ages, but never pulled the trigger on it. And this year I would like to try and pick one up. The other one I'd like to get is a Commodore 64. So out of the vintage consoles, it's one of the only ones that I don't have now that I would really want. So we've got the 2600, we've got the Spectrum, but yeah, just don't have a Commodore in the collection. I've had a couple of instances in 2023 where I nearly picked one up. Now, whether I was bidding on an auction and then lost the auction, or was watching one and it just went up too high. But yeah, a couple of different instances where I've sort of nearly got hold of one, but just missed out. So yeah, I think this year I want to try and get one for the collection. And then the last one that I want to get is going to be a bit of a random one. It's going to be a bit of a left field one, and that is a Nokia N-Gage. So just after I left school, sort of worked through retail, done everything like that, but I also used to work in mobile phone shops. So I worked for a couple of the different mobile phone retailers in the UK. And when I was working there was when the N-Gages were released. So I've been able to sort of play with them, and I know how to use them and everything like that. I've never actually owned one myself. So there are two different variants. You've got the standard Nokia N-Gage, and then you've got the Nokia N-Gage, I think it's QD, which is like the version 2, slightly smaller. And yeah, I'd like to get hold of one of them, and then a couple of games as well. Just because it's something a bit different. It's something that I've used before, and yeah, I'd like to get it in the collection. But I think the actual consoles now, they run, but they're basically, all it is it's a Nokia phone with a portable game player built in. So I think they run at about £160 now in working condition. So yeah, once again, it's if I can find one for a good price, and then whether I find one boxed or not, don't know. But yeah, that is going to be the consoles that I want to get this year. Then obviously I'm going to carry on with the GameCube collection. So obviously we've had a really good year with the GameCube collection. Obviously, as I said earlier on, I think I definitely over-exaggerated how long it would take to get it all. But I am really pleased with how far we've come. So I think, what was it, something like 40 odd games that we had when we started. We're now over 130 games. So yeah, there are definitely going to be games that I'm going to be looking out for this year. Definitely want to try and get some of the big hitters. I think top of the list is definitely going to be Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. So what I've potentially got is I've got potential to get that, but yeah, we'll just see how things pan out. But then what I also want to do, I'm going to probably try and get, well, I'm not going to get started, I have already started going for another full power collection, and that is for the Wii U. So yeah, anytime I see Wii U games at the moment, I am picking them up whenever I can, because yeah, I love the Wii U. I don't know why. I just love it. And I think it's definitely going to be the console to look out for. I think in the next sort of 4 or 5 years, you're potentially going to be looking at the Wii U being as sought after and worth as much money as something like the Virtual Boy. So yeah, Wii U, I pick up games, consoles, everything whenever I can. But yeah, so I do really want to get a full power set of Wii U. I think there's about 140 games, so it's definitely achievable. And yeah, we'll just see how we get on with that. Not expecting to do it in the year, but it's definitely something I'm going to be pushing more and more to get whenever I can. And then the last thing that I've got on my list for this year, I'm not going to put any accessories on this year. If I manage to find any that I want, like the Power Glove from last year, then I will add it in. But yeah, the last thing that I want to get is there's one more game that I would like to add to the collection. It's not a must-have. It's definitely a like to do, and that is a copy of Rule of Rose. So obviously, for those of you that know, you know how expensive that game is. I mean, at the moment, it runs anywhere between £500 and £600, dependent on condition. So yeah, it'll be, if I'm able to, I'll pick it up. If not, then I will just get it as and when I can. But yeah, I would like to get a copy of Rule of Rose in the collection, and yeah, that would be a crowning achievement for my PS2. So before we wrap up, one last bit I want to go through is a couple of announcements and releases that I'm looking forward to this year. Probably the biggest new release that I'm looking for this year is going to be Fallout London. So this is a fan-made mod that is being developed on the back of Fallout 4. And basically they have recreated London within the Fallout universe, and it looks absolutely stunning. I've been sort of following all of the releases that they put out on YouTube. They've recently announced the release date of April the 14th. So yeah, absolutely can't wait for that. That is something that I'm going to be downloading and going to be playing the day that it releases. I am really looking forward to that. Next up, a recent announcement. So we haven't actually got an official release date for this yet, but it has been announced, sort of, it is in the works, and that is Jurassic Park Survival. So this game actually has a similar sort of storyline to another Jurassic Park game that we've already played, and that is the Telltale game. So the original Telltale game for Jurassic Park was a quick time sort of story game, and it basically took place on the original island sort of after the original sort of incident happened. And looking at the trailer for Jurassic Park Survival, that is exactly how this one's going. You're alone, you're on your own, and basically you're traipsing through Isla Nublar, trying to get rescued basically, and it looks absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be keeping my ear to the ground with that one. Fingers crossed it does come out this year, and it's not going to be pushed back until sort of 2025. But I will say, whenever it does come out, I am definitely going to pick it up. Next up, we are going to be jumping on the rumour mill train, and this is one of the announcements that I'm actually expecting very imminently, probably either this month or next month, but the potential announcement for the Switch 2. So there's a lot of buzz going around online at the moment that Nintendo are going to be doing a direct early part of the year to basically announce the Switch 2 with sort of an estimated release date of sort of tail end of the year. So yeah, really hoping that gets announced. Looking forward to potentially getting another Switch. But yeah, so it's all a rumour at the moment. Nothing's official with that. We don't even know if a Switch 2 even exists. But well, I think we know that the Switch 2 exists, but we don't know whether it's going to be announced this year or not. A lot of people were expecting it last year. It didn't come. So yeah, we'll wait and see. Also this year, another thing that I'm looking forward to is getting some more details on Grand Theft Auto 6. So obviously we've recently seen the first trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6. We know that we're going back to Vice City, which is absolutely amazing. And yeah, hopefully sort of as the year goes on, we'll actually get that final release date. A lot, as I said in my breakdown video of the trailer, there are rumours swirling around that Rockstar are going to be looking to release the game early 2025, so within sort of Q1 of 2025, which, if that's the case, I think this year we'll start getting a lot of information on GTA 6 come out. So yeah, looking forward to getting some more information on that. And then some pre-orders that I've already got, some bits that I've already got in my sort of crosshairs. I haven't been able to actually do the pre-orders yet, but obviously we've got the Switch version of Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. So yeah, it is one of the GameCube games that we're missing at the moment, so it'd be nice to actually get hold of that. And if it's anything like the Mario RPG remake, it is going to be an absolutely amazing game to play. So yeah, that's one of the games that I've looked to pre-order. Also, the Luigi's Mansion 2 HD re-release as well. So previously, Luigi's Mansion 2 was only released on the 3DS. I think it was a 3DS. Yes, 3DS. So yeah, each version of Luigi's Mansion has been released on a separate console. So you had the original Luigi's Mansion was only on GameCube, Luigi's Mansion 2 was only on the 3DS, and Luigi's Mansion 3 was only on the Switch. Hopefully we might find out, I think, if Luigi's Mansion 2 sells well on the Switch, I wouldn't be surprised if we then saw a HD re-release of Luigi's Mansion coming down the line, which would be great. I would love to have all three of them on the Switch so that I can play when I'm out and about. Then another game that that is, from what I've seen, is definitely coming out this year, and that is Lollipop Chainsaw Repop. So this is going to be a HD remaster of the original Lollipop Chainsaw that was released on the PS3 and Xbox 360. Basically you play a cheerleader that is actually a zombie hunter, and you're basically fighting a horde of zombies. Basically a just a 3D sort of beat 'em up. Absolutely brilliant game. Love playing the original, and looking forward to getting the remake come out. I think it's due for PS5 and Series X, probably PC as well. But yeah, looking forward to getting my hands on that. Then we've got the Stalker 2 dropping as well. So I don't think it's a remake. But yeah, we've got Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl. That is due out this year as well. We've seen a couple of trailers for it, but I don't think we've got a release date for that yet. And then another game that I've seen that looks really interesting. I don't know too much about it. I've only seen sort of one clip in a another YouTuber's video, and that is Still Wakes the Deep. So this looks like it's a sort of survival horror game, if I remember rightly, and just looked absolutely gorgeous. Definitely a game that I wanted to pick up and play. So yeah, once I get some more information on that, get it pre-ordered, and definitely doing a playthrough on that. And then there is another game coming out that I have pre-ordered, but I will say I am actually I'm quite sceptical on it, and that is the new South Park game. So we've got another South Park game releasing this year, South Park Snow Day. The thing that I don't like about it is, obviously we've got the previous two, we've got Stick of Truth and the Fractured But Whole. Those were sort of 2D RPGs. They've now gone into sort of 3D with this new one. I don't know whether I like it. I am going to get it, and I'm going to play it, but yeah, not convinced on it. So yeah, that's why I've not added it onto my list. That's just a sort of an extra add-on. But yeah, it is just a bit skeptical about it. So yeah, we'll see when it actually releases. I think we've had a revised date actually. I think that's coming out in March. So yeah, we should find out fairly soon how that plays. And yeah, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. As you can tell, my voice is completely shot now, so I'm going to go and get a drink and try and bring my voice back a bit. But yes, I am aiming to have videos back next week. I will be honest, if I can't shift this cold, cough, whatever it is I've got,
by the sort of weekend. I'm probably going to end up putting a pin in next week's videos and just sort of putting them off for a week. But I am doing a big rejig on the videos. The plan is for this year is to change up the Tuesday videos, start doing some different stuff with the Tuesday videos. I'm going to keep the Friday videos as game hunt videos. Tuesday, I'm then going to sort of switch it up. We'll probably have some game hunts, repair videos. Oh, excuse me. Game hunt, repair videos, and then also some collecting tips and things like that. So, yeah, just start doing some different things on the Tuesday videos. Because I'll be honest, I don't always get the time to do a full repair video every week, so that's why the Tuesday videos can be a bit all over the shop. But yes, so I am going to wrap the video up there. Once again, thank you so much for joining me today. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to hit that like button. If you're not already, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell to be kept up to date when I upload new videos. And yeah, with that said, once again, thank you so much for joining me. Really hope you enjoyed the video. And I'll see you on the next one. Alright, bye.